How good is Cory Eyring at poker? Well, I've actually had the fortune to coach him a few times. And we were going to make a series out of it, but, you know, cards on the table. He sucked at turning up on time, and his organizational skills are about as how you would guess, judging based on his videos. But the question is, how good is he at poker? Now, Cory, I haven't even asked him if I can make it. I know he won't mind me making this, because it's basically just free coaching for him. Let's watch a few hands from the last episodes, and let's see how good it is. We'll talk about his plays, we'll talk about his thought process.
As soon as I sit down, Nick hits my chips over.
What's in the position?
But we do pick up a great hand. Ace Jack. 35. Nick snap calls.
So he's playing 5-10, he makes it 35. By the way, he probably just has a normal opening size in these tables. If you're not mixing up your opening sizes, especially in the first few hands that you're playing, you're missing out. You need to be doing a bunch of limping, a bunch of 7xing, a bunch of 3. Like, these people are just going to be wanting to gamble no matter what. And so you can really add some nuance with your opening sizes. I imagine he's just doing the same size as everything. It's not what I told him to do, but whatever.
I decide to mock him. I'm like, two other players call as well. We go 4 ways to a flop. It comes ace high. I bet $55. Nick snap calls.
So again, he doesn't put too much thought into this. Betting $55. Obviously, you have to see bet. Betting a third here, it's like, why be balanced? Why be balanced against the guy, Nick, who's like one of the most degenerate gamblers? I don't know how he has so much money, but congratulations to him in the poker sphere. And another guy, on this kind of board, they're just going to fold their pocket sixes, and they're just going to call their 9x, their ace-x, and their flush draws. So when you got a value hand, size up. When you got a bluff, size down. Inelasticity needs to be exploited. I repeat that. Inelasticity needs to be exploited. If they're going to do the same thing with big sizes and small sizes, be 100% unbalanced. That being said, it's not a bad play. I'll rate this a good 7.5 out of 10. So,
I bet $55. Nick snap calls.
Snap call means we're ahead, almost always against one of these types of players.
And another player calls as well.
He would also raise a better hand than us. He could have ace-queen every once in a million years, but probably not.
The turn card is the best in the deck.
It is the best in the deck, much better than ace.
I keep my foot on the gas and bet $200.
So keep a foot on the gas. Didn't give us too much of his thought process there. That might have been his entire thought process, but hopefully not. Now what we're doing, and I know Cory and I have talked about range analysis. What he's doing is he's targeting an ace, and he's targeting the flush draws. The thing is, if this guy on the left has an ace, I don't think he's going to fold to basically any size. And if he's got a flush draw, think about what kind of flush draws he's going to have. King-eye flush draw, so nut flush draw. Pair and flush draw, jack-x and 9x. Combo draws, all of these things. We got to charge them more money. I know it's normal to go 2/3, but you just, in these kind of situations, again, when people are playing inelastic with their ranges, you just got to charge more money. So if there's $350 in the pot or something,
I keep my foot on the
305 in the pot, just bet 305, you know, something like that. It doesn't need to be huge. You don't want to give him a chance to fold ace-10, ace-5, but just bet 300, you know, just, there's just this is what I like to call lazy sizing, a standard sizing.
gas and bet $200.
Before I can even get my chips in the middle, Nick calls.
He's so good at this voice acting stuff, man.
This time, the other player folds.
You really hit 2 pairs. You're sick. Ace queen good, brother.
Ace queen nuts.
Wham!
All in.
The snap jam, it's going to be a pure intuition spot, whether you snap jam or tank jam, whether you think this guy's going to believe you or not, versus snap versus tank. Generally, if you're playing against the whale, you want to kind of like snap jam. The way he said it made it sound very confident, but I don't know if this guy, he's a bit of a whale. I've watched his episodes before. I don't know if he's going to be thinking on that level, so it might be better to snap jam. So in general, I think I'll give this hand, we'll watch how it plays out, but I'll give this hand like I'll stick with 7.5 out of 10 for the lazy sizings pre-flop and turn, but everything else is fine.
Oh my god.
If Nick calls, we'll be up over $1,000 within 3 minutes.
Hey, will you show me one? Fuck yeah.
Nick looks like the person who plays the kind of poker that he plays, if you know what I mean.
Please, show me the queen of hearts, I swear to God, I'll call you. Just show me the queen of hearts, I'll call you.
Nick shows the 9 of hearts.
He's thinking about calling me
So
with
we've got like 9-6 of hearts or something like that. 9-7 of hearts.
third pair.
Nicky, stick it in. Yes.
If you watch my live tell course, you know about speech play, how to kind of make him call in this kind of situation. But if you haven't watched my live tell course, you can still buy it. 30% off using the code that's here. I'm looking for 20 people who are small to mid stakes poker, cash games or MTTs, live or online, and want to take themselves very quickly over the winter holidays to high stakes. And we have the most exclusive and impressive promotion that we've ever given. And so if you are interested in this, check out the link in the description and you'll see all of the details available to you. We're giving you everything that you need as a group of 20 to reach the high stakes in as short a time as possible. I'll see you there, beautiful people. Peace.
Yes. That was the butters. That was the butters.
Always the butters.
Can I pick this with hoe?
That was the butters. That was the butters.
Always the butters.
Can I pick this one?
No, you cannot.
Dude, you're a hell of a player.
We still pick up a nice profit, and the night is just getting started. A few orbits later, we look down at pocket jacks. There's a straddle to $10.
I've never peeled my cards like that ever in my 11 years of poker.
Under the gun raises to 55. This is a large raise, but we have a premium, so I bump it up to $225. Action folds back to the original raiser, who makes the call. We go.
Actually, not sure if you meant to 3-bet this against the 55. 55 just feels like it's going to be like 8s, 9s, 10s, jacks, ace, king, maybe queens. Probably not kings and aces, so I guess you do 3-bet.
So heads up to a flop. Never like to see an
Ace, queen, ace, jack as well. Yeah, so when you're playing these kind of situations, it's like pretty annoying because he's so ace king heavy, assuming he's not going to 4-bet ace king pre-flop, and when he goes that sizing pre.
Overcard when you have pocket jacks. This is a pretty good board for our range. I continue for a small size.
I don't like this sizing. If you're gonna c-bet small, go like 100. Make sure he's never folding 9s. Like some people will just fold 9s to this size, 175. But if you go 100, they're never folding 9s.
Jacks. This is a pretty good board
Folding 9s, you ain't getting value from nothing.
for our range. I continue for a small size. Small in relation to the pot, but this is a lot of money that we're playing for.
175.
Under the gun looks at his cards, and my heart starts beating out of my chest. He makes the call. With 800 in the middle, the turn is a king. This is actually a great card for us because it reduces the
So we can actually even count combos at this point. So let's say we think he might have 8s sometimes. We'll give him half the combos of 8s, so it's 1.5 combos of 8s. Let's say you can have 9s and 10s at full frequencies, so that's 12 combos of that. Let's say you can have ace king at half because he might 4-bet pre-flop as well. So that would be 4 combos of ace king. We're actually doing pretty good, I think. And then there's going to be some king queen suited, some king jack suited. So there's another maybe 4 combos, king 10 suited. We'll get 4 to 6 combos of those. But when he goes so big pre-flop, is it going to be king jack suited, king 10 suited? I don't know. So maybe like 3 combos of those. So actually, I think we can really narrow down his range pretty strong here. We did go sizing on the flop. He can still have ace queen of spades every now and again, those kind of hands as well.
combinations of king X holdings our opponent can have. But I still think it's going to be really tough to get 3 streets of value from worse hands. I decide to check.
Good decision to check here. You actually get your opponent turning his hand relatively face up. Given you can see, he's like 1,000 deep. It looks like if he's got ace king, he's probably going to be betting. If he's got like 600, he's probably going to be able to check behind a lot of ace king on the turn. But given that it looks like he's over 1,000 deep, he's probably going to want to get all the money in the middle with ace king. So checking actually helps you define your opponent's range extremely well. If he checks back, he almost always just has like 9s, 10s, jacks and queens. And if he bets, you might have to call one, then fold river, depending on, if you think he's going to be a little bit more float heavy with these kind of backdoor flush draw hands.
After giving it some thought, our opponent checks it back. The river is a 9.
All right, so this is problematico, as the Spanish say. Let's see how he does it now. Break it down.
There's around $800 in the pot, and we have around 900 left. Do we jam all in for value? Targeting
No.
a worse hand?
No.
Or do we check again? I don't know. Just
Wait, Cory. These aren't the only two options. There's a third option here. You guys know what? Pause the video and decide what the third option is. First of all, let's count some combos again. So let's say we've defined his range on the turn pretty well. He can have 9s, which is 3 combos. He can have 10s, which is 6 combos. He can have jacks, which is 1 combo. And he might have queens sometimes. Let's give him like 2 combos of those. We can really define his range pretty well at this point. And the question is, are we ahead more often or are we behind more often? And, you know, if we're ahead more often, then we might as well be betting if we think we can get caught. Like his most common hand here is going to be pocket 10s. I hope you guys have followed the logic here. Every now and again, he's going to have like ace queen. Every now and again, he's going to have a trap, but pretty much never. And then he's going to have some pocket 9s, some pocket jacks, and maybe pocket queens. I would probably bet like $100 here. And if he raises, probably call off the entire stack and assume that he's going to have some like ace queens and stuff like that.
Just because this player checked back the turn doesn't mean he can't have a king. He could even have pocket 8s or pocket 9s.
Yeah, I think Cory's probably just not quite thinking on the right level there. Just trying to, like, you know, if there's 800 in the pot and there's like over 1,000 behind, people tend not to trap almost ever in these kind of situations.
Even pocket queens at some frequency. All of these hands are still in our opponent's range. So even if our opponent has a hand like 9-8 or 8-7, would he call those hands when he has...
So Cory probably not putting as much thought into the pre-flop sizing as I was there. And maybe that's his standard sizing, but he didn't note how it was a big sizing. I can't imagine he's going to go 55 pre-flop with 8-7 suited or 9-8 suited.
Better stuff to call with? I think if we jam all in, the likelihood that we get called by a stronger hand is much higher than getting called by one that we beat.
I think that's true. I think that is a true statement.
So I decided to check.
So if he's deciding between check and all in, that's a great thought process. However, he forgot that there is a third option. Just bet $100. What's your opponent going to do?
Check once more. If this player jams all in, we're going to actually have a miserable decision. Please check this back.
That's an unflattering angle.
Thank God. I show the pocket jacks, and our opponent has pocket 10s.
Not surprising. Not surprising at all. You'll figure this out, guys, if you play a lot of poker. You get to a lot of situations where you kind of already know what your opponent has, turn and river. Especially if only if you're playing against like weaker players, which will be most of you, because people really do play their hand face up. And if you use solid range analysis, and if you want to learn that, come to eliteuniversity.com. You can learn for free. eliteuniversity.com. Learn range analysis, because this is
bittersweet to see that hand because he might have called an all in, but I still think our analysis was correct. We pick up.
So, Cory, you need to be a little bit more out of the box thinking. You've watched too much Spraggy. You've watched too much Spraggy. I love Spraggy, so I can say that. You watch too much Lex. People that are playing normal. You got to expand the vision, especially when you're playing against these types of people. You got to be very creative. You got to be able to bet like 10% of the pot, 12% of the pot.
Up another nice pot. The very next shuffle, I don't even finish racking my chips. Yeah. At peaks, there's a thing called the button straddle. You can put money on the button, and it gives you ultimate last action. Say a player raises, and there's a re-raise and another re-raise. Action just skips over you until all pre-flop betting concludes.
Wait, so if you button straddle your last act, is that good? I mean, it's obviously better than normal button straddle, but like, is it ever going to be plus EV? No, I still think it's going to be minus EV.
It's overpowered.
I don't think it is. I think in PLO maybe it would be, but I think in Hold'em you're just going to have trash too often.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, people.
In this case, I'm on the button and I decide to straddle. There's never been a more perfect time to pick up pocket aces. My heart rate immediately jumps by 20. This player limps, then this player limps, then this player limps. Action skips over me, and Nick raises to $80. Now all the other players have to act before I act. This guy calls, Then this guy calls. Then this guy calls.
Interesting. So you have aces. The guy on your left is going to be very loose. I don't know how loose he's going to be. I don't know if he's got like king 10 offsuit or worse, maybe. Maybe he could just be going crazy trying to take down dead money as well. Looks like a spot where we could easily be bluffing. I think everyone's going to be like 1-2K deep. So what size do you go? You pause the video and figure out yourself. Lazy motherfuckers. Maybe like 420.
Let's fucking go! Nick is a very loose player, and there's so much money in the middle. If I raise now, it's gonna look like I'm just trying to take down the dead money. I raised to $375. What happens next can only be explained in Texas. Nick calls, this guy calls, this guy calls, and this guy calls. We're going 5 ways to a flop.
Maybe go bigger than that. I mean, that's pretty wild.
$1 million in the middle. 1 million.
I'm praying to see a clean flop.
Yeah, there it is. There's the shitty flop of this thing.
Yeah, that's a good flop.
Nick immediately goes all in.
So Nick's going to have just like 9s with a spade here. Maybe not even. What's he going to have? He's not going to have a flush. Maybe like, oh no, we have the ace of spades. The fuck? A set? I guess he's probably just got like 9s with a spade or a set, but
All you're gonna
can't think of anything.
What happens next?
Apart from the ace of spades.
I can't even believe.
So that guy's in for another like 1K.
Oh my god, you're good. That's all good.
My head is
He's good at
spinning.
editing.
What the f can everyone have here? We have the nut flush draw and the best pair possible. But given the action, there's no way in hell that we're ahead. So
No, you can definitely be ahead.
we're gonna have a set, 2 pair, or even a flush.
2 pairs are we looking at here, dude? We playing the 7-2 scale? What's going on?
But there's so much money in the
Worried about
middle.
flush, but
We have to call 1,300
7.
to win 8,000. Worst case scenario.
you can have-
Let's say our opponents have a set, a flush, and 2 pair. We still have 25% equity.
It's not actually worst case scenario, by the way, just so you know. Better. Blocking each other.
And against a set and 2 pair, that number increases to 38. In a situation where I can't afford to gamble, that's kind of exactly what I have to
No,
do.
you're obviously calling, dude.
All in? All in. He has the ace.
He has the nuts.
You have the nuts too? What the fuck?
Wait, you fucked the nuts?
Oh, he has the nut.
I don't have the nut. I have the nut card.
You flopped it? 4 calls.
I can run it twice if you want.
Bro, one time, bro.
You want the board to pair?
Yes.
Set of deuces?
Yes. I need the board to pair.
845.
He needs the board to pair. I mean, he wouldn't need that if he's got a set. What's he got? I don't know.
You need a miracle? You said you're dead.
Wait, everyone called?
This money might not mean a lot to anyone else, but I'm sweating my dick off. 1 in 4 times, at a minimum, we'll be walking away with $8,000. That'd pay off 80% of my credit card with a snap of a finger. Come on! Come on! I turned down sponsors that I think are dog shit. I try to play by the rules. I'm trying to do it right. Give me some good karma, god damn it! Dealer! Hey, buy some fucking merch! Buy some merch!
I'll leave the ad in.
with
because I
me!
don't think it's YouTube.
Dealer!
Go buy a Cory's merch.
One time!
We're gonna break the table.
Get the camera, brother. Come on. Get the camera, brother. Get the camera, brother.
Bang off like the ace of diamonds and let everyone go home. Ace of diamonds, everyone go home. One time. Ace of diamonds. Yeah!
What was it?
Yeah!
Take it first.
Come on! Go!
Both the inside. Pretty impressive. That's how they got license for me. Got the old psychic ability.
He's good at what he does.
Well, let's see if there are any more hands in the episode.
Blackout zombies with him. That's good. I'm actually really bad.
At this point in the night, I'm up over $6,000. Do you cash out or keep
Keep playing.
I keep playing.
Yeah.
I'm on the button straddle once again, and I pick up dog piss. 7-4 offsuit. It's an easy fold, right? But then Nick tells me,
Brother, just stick it in once. Give us some action.
So I throw in the $20.
Wow.
and we go 5 ways to a flop, where we're instantly rewarded. It's 4-4 deuce. Holy shit! I'm running pure. Action checks to me. I think we're way ahead. I decide to check.
See, interesting. So it's like 5 people to the flop. He's got trips. If you're me, you probably want to bet because people will think you're the kind of person just bet with trash in these kind of situations. If you got a little bit of a tighter image, check's probably good because people aren't just going to check raise bluff you in at all.
Back. Let someone catch up.
It's an
the
interesting
card
spot.
Is a 5.
Introducing a backdoor flush draw, and I don't know. Hopefully, someone decides to bluff. This time,
And
action
if somebody does have you cooled, by checking the flop, you get stacked a lot less.
checks to the cutoff, who bets $75.
All right, so when the guy bets $75, he's either got a boat and is just trying to get somebody to call, or he's got some like pocket sixes, or he's got some like sevens, eights, or he's got a flush draw, or he's got like 6, 7, 7, 8. So against that, I guess you just call.
Ace 3 now makes a straight, but
Considering we have
you can
this
have
board
ace three, so
basically
that's good.
locked up, I think this bet is much more likely a bluff than it is a value bet. So I decide to call. Everyone else folds, and we go off to see one last card, which comes the 7 of what
clean.
the fuck?
Clean.
We have a full
We only lose
functioning
5.
mechanical yacht. Even better, this player continues betting for $500.
Damn, he bet 500. So he definitely has a value hand. Nobody ever bluffs this spot for this sizing. The reason for that is that we can have so many strong hands. And if he wants to bluff, he might as well just make us fold all of our flush draws and stuff like that by betting like a third. So I almost promise you that this guy's got a value hand. The question is, what kind of value hands has he got? Probably a 4, maybe pocket deuces, maybe pocket 5s, or a straight. So yeah, roll in. Unless he's got a million behind.
If this guy had pocket 5s or pocket 7s, I think he would bet the flop because those hands require a lot of protection. I don't think there's a world where we ever have the losing hand here. I think what's most likely is this guy was also trapping with a hand like ace 4, and
that
now
is
he's
a very
going
good
for
read.
max value against a weaker 4. I think we just got insanely
fantastic
lucky with this river
analysis.
card. If he has pocket 2s, 5-4, ace 4 suited, I don't think he's folding to an all-in.
Correct.
What happens next is straight out of
maybe
a
ace four
fucking
might fold.
movie.
Santosh? Santosh's friend is coming up. Apparently Santosh's friend is like marching with you.
No snap is nice. Oh,
Bro, what the have a straight, bro? What the hell? Holy shit.
damn, son, he did have 10 straight.
Look how it just comes to
I'll rate this hand a good like 8.5 out of 10, maybe even 9 out of 10 for Cory because the flop check I think probably was very intelligent, and his range analysis on the river was good as well. I believe that is the end of the episode. Anyway, I'll probably do more of these. I love Cory's style of playing, and I like doing analysis. If there's anybody else you'd like me to do analyses of, feel free to put it in the chat. I think overall it's fair to say that Cory is a decent poker player. He'll beat like the local 2-5 games at the casino, but it does feel like he's just probably followed a little bit too much of the standard advice of how to play poker. And his range analysis is lacking because of it. His creativity might be lacking as well. Now, I've actually coached him a bunch, as I mentioned before, and I do know these things to be true. But I will say that one thing I noticed is that he was very bright. Like, he was he got things very, very quickly, even if his brain was sometimes pretty messy. And it does feel like he forgets things quite often as well. Like, I've been in that lifestyle where you're waking up, getting 3 hours sleep, going, flying to somewhere else, playing, flying somewhere else, playing. And he's doing it plus doing all of these YouTube things. Plus, I'm sure there's a bunch of like personal life things happening because he's become like the YouTube sensation pretty quickly overnight. But I think there's a very big path ahead where he could be a fantastic poker player. But he has to walk that path, and he can't get too distracted by all of these other things. And he has to make a choice. Does he want to become a fantastic poker player that's going to be crushing people? Or does he want to become more of like a YouTube celebrity that is, there's nothing wrong with doing that as well. But he does need to make a decision because to become a fantastic poker player, it requires a lot of thought, and it requires a lot of time, and it requires a lot of strategizing where to spend your time, how to learn, who to learn with, and all of these different things. And that's something that only he can decide on how to do. And that's my analysis. I think he's got a long road ahead of him. Very excited for the guy. All the best, beautiful people. Peace.